All right, would you sit it down there for me? Are we there yet? 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 Are we there yet?
Looks like it'll be pretty close.
Are we there yet? Are we counting down?
I don't have the seconds on here. There we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2.
2, 1. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Oh,
You scared
yeah.
me.
Scared Brody too. Oh, there we go. Out and in with a bang, maybe. We'll see. Oh my gosh. So, 2023. I'm going to read the cards and, okay, I'm reading 3 decks. Excuse me. I have something in my eye.
Hair?
There. I'm going to read 3 decks. And I'm going to read for the 4 hemispheres of the planet. So I'll have a diamond for each hemisphere. And I'll start with 1 deck and then move on to the next and the next. And do the same order. So, we'll see. What is the energy? This is our snapshot into the energy as it exists in the world today, right? As of January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year. Oh my goodness, we all hope that it's going to be a better year, I think. Everybody does. So this is for the Northern Hemisphere. So the first card I pulled for the Northern Hemisphere is number 4, reverse participation. So there's a lack of cooperation in the Northern Hemisphere. People aren't participating in something in a group altogether. Next card is forces at play that you may not be aware of, and we've reversed number 7, stress, and so there is a relief of some sort of stress that people are either hoping for or have had recently. And I think there's a lot of people though who have also had a lot of stress, right? And are still having a lot of stress. Some have, some haven't. Forces at play that you're probably aware of. Upright 10, harmony. So there's some cooperation that's going on right now. Some things, some ideas, I guess, that people weren't participating in anymore.
What's it upside down?
What?
What's it upside down compared to those ones?
Because you're sitting on the other side of me. That's why. These ones are the ones that are reversed. So the center card, the reverse 4, participation. That's reversed.
Okay.
You're seeing it upright because you're sitting on the other side of me.
I see. Okay.
I'm looking at the reading this way.
Okay.
And because that's, the cards come up reversed sometimes. So the next one is course of action, how folks are leaning. Oh, a reversed Roman numeral 13, transformation. And so, I don't know, things are staying the same, perhaps, in some ways. Big change not happening. I don't know. Be nice to see that. Wouldn't it? Means the conditions are there, huh? The conditions are there for weapons to be laid down. Wouldn't that be nice to To think, huh? Northern Hemisphere. Now the outcome. So the outcome card for the Northern Hemisphere, I'm feeling them like this because I'm going to lay them out. Is the upright. This is a major arcana card, the Creator. This is not the God card. This talks about the ability for the individual or the generation to create, right? To make things. It's about the human spirit and the human will to make things. So that's what this card is about. So maybe we're going to see the conditions for cooperation and creation of something good is there. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Card side. So now I'm shuffling. I'm going to pull for the Southern Hemisphere. Hey, Sassy. Brody. I shouldn't have said anything. So the first card pulled is the Aloneness card, the center of this. So this is the energy. It's an upright Roman numeral 9. 9 is a very nice number. The aloneness card, feeling like on this, nobody's there with you on your journey, looking out into the unknown. Forces at play that you may not be aware of. Upright 8, letting go. So on some level, folks are just like, don't even know what to expect anymore. Nobody's coming to rescue me except me. Just gonna let go of it. Forces at play that you're probably aware of. Upright 7, so patience. So we have, not in that order on the table, but 7, 8, and 9. So we have numbers here that are closely related. And that is something to pay attention to, meaning that things are going to happen in some kind of sequential order. The patience card is about being patient and yes, patience, and waiting for something to come to fruition. And that's why in the image there's an expectant mother in the image, waiting for that to grow. It doesn't necessarily mean literally a birth, but it means a coming of fruition of a long process. Course of action. Okay, course of action. This is the source card. This is the God card. And so, I think there's people who are just relying on their faith and praying, right? You get to that point. I think most human beings get to that point, regardless of what your belief system is. I think if people are truly honest, there are very, very few people who can say that they haven't, in their heart of hearts, at some point, implored a God. And the outcome, we have an upright Roman numeral 17, silence. And this is about inner silence, about being able to live with your own thoughts, or be without thoughts. Have a silence inside, right? Silence. All right, I'll do the Eastern Hemisphere. All right. So Eastern Hemisphere, We have an upright 9, the laziness card. Somebody's sitting around thinking, oh, I got it made, I got it made, I got it made. I don't have to do much to maintain my relationships, right? I can do as I please. So that's... And forces of play that you may not be aware of. We have an upright number 7, projections. Because there's been a breakdown in communication, right? Breakdown of communication. And because of projection onto each other. So, you know, perhaps this laziness card is how, like, East and West see each other back and forth, right? Like, it's this refusal to see the self in the other and the other in the self, right? Failing to see the humanity of each other. Projecting the worst onto each other. Oh, hi, Sassy. Are you snuggling with Daddy? Forces at play that you're probably aware of. Ah, upright 7, politics. Yes. How can... Nobody can not be aware of politics. There's... Oh, I don't know. You would have to be, like, out to lunch. Really out to lunch to not see politics and everything that's going on. Oh, I flipped up. So, this is the course of action card. Upright 15, Roman numeral 15, conditioning. The lion in sheep's clothing. Somebody's going to have to... Somebody who has been masquerading as a sheep is really a lion, a leader. Rise up from among the sheeple. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Conditioning. People who would otherwise, personality-wise, be willing to stand up and speak out about things are being forced to pretend they're sheep. And the outcome. Okay, upright, Roman numeral 19, innocence. So, the energy is there for possibility of returning to a point where thought and action and everything are coming from a pure place, right? Innocence. And now the Western Hemisphere. So, any one person who's watching this can cross, over your hemispheres. Everybody has 2 spreads, right? Because you're always simultaneously in 2 hemispheres. All right, upright, Roman numeral 12, new vision. So there's definitely a hope for a new way of doing things, huh? New way of proceeding. Forces of play that you may not be aware of. Upright, the Master. This Major Arcana card. And this card is about mastery of the self, mastery of the deck, mastery of your own action. So that's something that more folks have been looking at or thinking about in their lives. And forces of play that you're probably aware of. Upright, Major Arcana, morality, yes. There are lots, no lack of discussion and debate over issues of morality in the Western Hemisphere. Yes. And course of action, the Fool. Major Arcana card, the Fool. So, coming at it with beginner's mind, with wonder, anything's possible, not looking out for dangers around the corner. Sometimes for the fool it works out great, but other times the fool is just stepping off the cliff without even looking. You never know. I say, never look before you leave. And now the outcome. The fool with their optimism, their constant optimism. Outcome. Oh my. Another upright major arcana, the consciousness card. This is about, being connected to that which, is coming from the greater consciousness and of the divine mind of humanity. Well, let's hope that would be those would all be very good things to happen. And what the spreads are saying is that this is the environment currently, that the energy is in these places where there's potential for, right? The energy is there. People need to make choices about, for themselves, about what they're going to do, right? In any situation. See what the angels have to say. Remember, we're going to start with the northern hemisphere. So, on top of the reversed 4 participation, we have a reversed Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options, create solutions. So this is, has to happen in a hurry, and it's going to be whatever, appears to be the best thing to do or the easiest thing to do at the time. Forces at play that you may not be aware of. On top of the reverse 7, stress, we have an upright 2 of air, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. Yeah, so, stress, sometimes you can get to the point where you live in a place of denial, and the stress seems to dissipate because you've allowed yourself to ignore a problem, That's a possibility for relationship between those 2 cards. And forces at play that you're probably aware of. On the upright 10 harmony, we have an upright 4 of earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money. Good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. And so, there is a desire for harmonious business opportunities and relationships, right? And course of action. All right. Upright 13, release Archangel Azrael, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. Oh, end of a cycle, right? It's kind of like the death card, huh? And outcome. On top of the upright creator, we have an upright 9 of air, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. Well, anytime you work on something yourself, making something yourself, and work really, really hard on it, you worry about it, right? I mean, it happens. It happens. I think that's a very human thing. It doesn't have to be that way, though, right? So now, Southern Hemisphere. On top of the aloneness card, we have an upright Ace of Water. Falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, a new home. Well, been alone for a long time, but there's opportunity in aloneness to find togetherness, because there's always the opposite, right? That's how you know where you're at. So there's kind of a dynamic, a push and pull that's between those two cards and those two ideas, huh? Starting off alone but finding a partnership. And on top of the upright 8, letting go, we have a reverse 7 of earth. Seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. So seeds weren't well planted, and the worry might be warranted, right? But just letting go of that, right? Just letting go of that. And forces at play that you're probably aware of. On the upright 7 patience, we have a reversed ace of air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning. So, this is just this thing you've been waiting for. It's just the cycle of it's nothing new. It's nothing that hasn't been done before. It's the cycle of life, right? That's been happening, for a really long time. And things aren't going to be hard, right? Sometimes it's all about attitude, right? That whole glass is half full versus half empty, or making lemonade, right? And course of action. On the upright source, we have an upright 6 of fire, victory, good news on its way, public recognition and awards. So, giving it up to God for can really, there's something to be said for that, right? Sometimes it's just what has to happen. You just got to give it up. Be like, there's nothing I can do about this situation. Being patient, give it up. Letting go. The outcome. On the upright silence, we have an upright 14, balance. Archangel Zedekiel, the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. Yeah. So there is, even though there isn't much communication and there's a silence that's within, there is environment for compromise, right? Not rushing into anything or whatever. All right, so now the Eastern Hemisphere. On the upright 9, laziness, we have an upright King of Fire. Motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic, focus, communicate with vision, be a leader. Advice from someone creative. So, on one end of the spectrum, we have this laziness, sitting back on your laurels, right, with all your stuff. And on this other hand, we have kind of the opposite of that. Somebody who is looking, to move forward in a positive manner, right, in a creative way, and in an active way, as opposed to not an inactive way. It's always interesting when the opposites come up against each other in the decks. So, forces at play that you may not be aware of. On top of the number 7, projections, upright 7 projections, we have an upright Knight of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, restless. Sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. That can happen sometimes, projecting back and forth, where it's like, okay, you get down to the wire and it's just like something here's got to break, or something here's got to change, or something, we got to deal with this right now, or that's it. Eastern Hemisphere. Forces at play that you're probably aware of. On top of the upright 7 politics, we have a reverse 9 of fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So there is a loss of confidence. Somebody has lost some confidence due to these politics and the politicking, right? Course of action. Okay, on top of the conditioning, upright conditioning, we have a reverse 20 renewal, Archangel Jeremiel. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts, time to move in a new direction. So, you don't need to review. You just keep moving forward with your plan. And the outcome, or that's how you're leaning, right? I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing. Outcome. On top of the upright innocence, we have an upright 3 of water. A celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. You need to have more fun. Yeah. On top of that innocence, I just need to let go a little bit and get back in touch with my inner child. And I can see a lot of people in the Eastern Hemisphere really benefiting from that, right? So let's look at the Western Hemisphere now. On top of the upright new vision, we have an upright 3 of fire, abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time, make long-term plans. So, yeah, you got some new ideas and things look like they're shaping up. And forces at play that you may not be aware of. Oop, there it is. We have a reversed Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So stay where you're at, mastering your own. This is on top of the upright master. This is mastery of self. And so, you might feel the need to go someplace else, but you really don't need to. You're right where you need to be. And forces at play that you are probably aware of. We have a reverse 17, the star, Archangel Jophiel, happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans on the right path. So there's this morality. Oh, you're doing something wrong, right? There's this discussion. You're doing something wrong. You're going to fail. There's always somebody around who has that kind of attitude, huh? There's always somebody around. It doesn't mean you have to listen to them. No, it doesn't. It does not. So, course of action. On the upright, the Fool, we have an upright 7 of air. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye. Poor timing. So, you're gonna make. It's sometimes it's okay to have to review and evaluate a little bit of what you're doing, and make appropriate changes. It can be more beneficial in the end. It can be a pain in the butt, and sometimes a disappointment in the moment, but it can be beneficial in the outcome in the long run. So now we have the outcome. On the upright consciousness card, we have a reverse, the High Priestess, Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want to do before acting. And so there may be, on one hand, we have one end of the spectrum, we have this consciousness, this being connected and aware kind of thing. And then on the other hand, we have this kind of disconnection, right? Not doing that. Two ends of the spectrum. So, saying it can go either way, right? Things can go either way. Let's see what the crystals say. First for the Northern Hemisphere. So on the reverse Knight of Air, we have an upright 33, personal power, self-empowerment. So there's energy there to make something new, to have some ingenuity, right? This is a deck that has many fewer cards, so I'm only going to pull for the center on each of these spreads. Whoop. So here we have for the Southern Hemisphere, on the upright Ace of Water, falling in love with the resurgence of a relationship. We have an upright, good fortune and abundance, upright 18. Oh, yeah. A little bit of luckiness going on there, huh? Yeah, there's energy there for that, huh? There's some space for that. Now we have the Eastern Hemisphere. On top of the upright King of Fire, we have an upright number 4, Christ consciousness, divine truth. So there's some intervention. There's some outside spiritual intervention, or I don't want to say interference, but guidance, right? And for the Western Hemisphere, on top of the 3 of Fire, things look very good. We have an upright divine temple, the Akashic Records. Okay, so, you know, there's an opportunity here to really tap into, and I think this is referring back to that consciousness card, right? To really tap into the knowledge of all time, right? That no one can see all of it at any one time, but you know, that Akashic record of everything that is, was, and ever will be, right? That ultimate divine knowledge. There's ability to acknowledge that and experience that. So that's a hopeful thing. That's a hopeful thing. A little different way of reading the cards this year, and I think that's interesting. I think there's a lot of. I think the cards are saying that there's a lot of room for moving forward in a positive way all over the place. That the biggest issue is really comes down to compromise, right? Compromise and desire, and at least the desire to serve the highest good in your actions. I suppose that's really all anybody can pray for, huh? For all of us to be guided in such a manner. Anyway, Happy New Year. I hope it's good.